Close your eyes for a moment and try to imagine 4,540,000,000 years. That's how long our planet has existed, silently orbiting the sun, witnessing the passage of unimaginable eras. And we, human beings, with all our history, our civilizations, our achievements, we have existed for only 0.004% of that time. We are the newcomers, the last gasps in an epic story that began when the solar system was still in its infancy. Look at the planet from afar, as astronauts do, and you'll see something impressive. More than 70% of its surface is covered by water. A blue planet, shining like a jewel in the black void of space. But here's the paradox that should make us pause and reflect. Of all this abundant water, less than 1% is potable. Most of it is in the oceans, salty and unfit for drinking. And the rest, trapped in glaciers, deep underground, or in inaccessible places. The water that sustains all life on Earth, including yours right now, is a tiny fraction of a planet that seems to swim in it. And here's something truly special. Earth is the only known place in the entire universe where water naturally exists in liquid form on the surface. On Mars, it froze or evaporated long ago. On Venus, the intense heat vaporized it completely. Only here, at this precise distance from the sun, with the right atmosphere and pressure, can water flow freely, fill oceans, form clouds, and fall as rain. It's such a delicate balance that it almost seems improbable. Mentally, immerse yourself in the oceans for a moment. Descend deeper and deeper, beyond sunlight, beyond the zones where whales sing, beyond where any plant can grow. Keep descending until you reach the deepest point in all the oceans, the Mariana Trench, an abyss at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean that descends for 11 kilometers. To put that into perspective, if you took Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth, and placed it at the bottom of that trench, its peak would still be more than 2 kilometers below the ocean's surface. It's an almost incomprehensible depth, where the pressure is so intense it would instantly crush a human being. But let's go even deeper, not into the water, but into the earth itself. Go through the solid crust, past the rocky mantle that flows slowly like thick honey over millions of years, and reach the core. There, at the heart of our planet, the temperature reaches about 5,500 degrees Celsius. That's as hot as the surface of the sun. You are walking on a ball of rock that has, at its center, an inferno as intense as the star that warms us. And it is this primordial heat, this energy retained since the formation of the Earth, that keeps our planet geologically alive. The Earth is always vibrating, did you know? Even now, while you rest peacefully, the planet beneath you pulses with subtle frequencies. Distant earthquakes, ocean waves crashing against remote shores, even the movement of air masses in the atmosphere. All of this makes the Earth resonate like a giant bell. Of course, these vibrations are imperceptible to our senses, but sensitive instruments can detect them, this constant hum of the living planet. And spinning. The Earth is always spinning. Right now, you're moving at approximately 1,600 kilometers per hour, dragged along by the planet's rotation. You don't feel it because everything around you is also moving at the same speed. But imagine for a moment the impossible. What if the Earth suddenly stopped? Everything not firmly attached to the ground, including you, the oceans, the entire atmosphere, would continue moving at that dizzying speed, it would be apocalyptic. Fortunately, the laws of physics make this impossible. The Earth will continue spinning for billions of years. 200 million years ago, if you could go back in time, you wouldn't recognize the world map. All the continents we know today, America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Antarctica, Oceania, were joined together in a single gigantic landmass called Pangaea. Since then, they have been slowly drifting apart, floating on the molten mantle, opening oceans, creating mountains where they collide. And this movement continues. Every year, South America moves a few centimeters away from Africa. Millions of years from now, the map will be completely different again. Look at the moon, our silent companion in the sky. It is moving away from us, slowly but inexorably, about 8 centimeters each year. Billions of years ago, the moon was much closer, appearing gigantic in the sky, causing immeasurable tides. As geological time passes, it recedes, and one day, in the distant future, it will be just a tiny dot in the night sky. And what about time on Earth? It's changing too. The planet's rotation is gradually slowing down due to tidal friction. With each passing century, the day gets approximately 1.7 milliseconds longer. It seems insignificant, but accumulated over millions of years, it means that days in the distant past were much shorter. When dinosaurs roamed the Earth, a day was only about 23 hours long. Now, think about trees. Our planet is home to about 3 trillion trees. More trees than all the stars visible to the naked eye in the Milky Way. Each one breathes, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. But here's a surprise. Most of the oxygen you're breathing right now doesn't come from forests. It comes from the oceans. Microscopic phytoplankton, invisible to the naked eye, floating by the billions on the surface of the seas, performs photosynthesis on such a massive scale that it produces more oxygen than all the terrestrial forests combined. For every 2 breaths you take, one of them is thanks to the oceans. If the Earth were reduced to the size of a billiard ball, it would be smoother than the ball itself. The mountains that seem so immeasurable to us, the oceans that seem so deep, on a planetary scale are just tiny irregularities on the surface. Our planet is surprisingly spherical and smooth. In the warm waters off the Australian coast lies the largest living structure on the planet, the Great Barrier Reef. It stretches for over 2,000 kilometers, so vast that it can be seen from space. Billions of tiny coral polyps working over millennia have built this monument to life. And yet, despite the immensity of the oceans, we have explored only 5% of them. The ocean floor is more unknown to us than the surface of Mars. There are places on Earth where water simply doesn't fall. In the Atacama Desert in Chile, some areas haven't seen a drop of rain in centuries. It's the driest place on the planet, so arid that almost nothing can survive there. And paradoxically, Antarctica, a continent covered by kilometers of ice, is technically a desert, the largest in the world. Not because it's hot, but because there's almost no precipitation. The snow that covers the continent took millions of years to accumulate. Every day, approximately 8 billion lightning strikes hit the Earth. Right now, as you read this, storms are raging somewhere on the planet, lighting up the sky with electrical discharges. The atmosphere is alive with energy. This atmosphere, this thin envelope of gases that protects us from the hostile vacuum of space, extends 10,000 kilometers above your head. But 90% of it is concentrated in the first 15 kilometers. It's a surprisingly thin layer when you think about the scale of the planet, like the peel of an apple in proportion. And it's all that separates us from the deadly vacuum. Earth has already gone through terrible times in its long history. At least 5 times, life was nearly completely wiped out. 5 mass extinctions where most species disappeared. And now, scientists say, we are at the beginning of the 6th extinction. But this time, it's not an asteroid or mass volcanism. It's us. Human activity is changing the planet so rapidly that species cannot adapt. Take a deep breath. You are part of something much bigger than you can imagine. You are on a living planet, spinning through space, with a history that extends far beyond human memory. Earth is not only special for harboring life, it is exceptional even in its physical composition. Of all the planets in the solar system, our world is the densest. While gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn are made primarily of light hydrogen and helium, Earth is composed of solid rock and a heavy metallic core. It's as if nature concentrated everything substantial and solid on this small blue planet. And this planet continues to transform even now. Mount Everest, that mountain that seems so permanent, so eternal, is growing. Approximately 4 millimeters per year, as the Indian tectonic plate continues to push under the Asian plate. It's a movement imperceptible in a human lifetime, but over millions of years, mountains rise and are then worn down by winds and rain, only to rise again. Speaking of life, think about your own body for a moment. Your skin isn't just yours, it's an entire ecosystem. Living on you at this very moment are more microorganisms than there are human beings on the entire planet. Bacteria, microscopic fungi, mites invisible to the naked eye. They all make you their home. You are not just in the world. You are a world unto yourself. And while you rest, invisible and still, something extraordinary is happening. Every day, about 100 tons of space dust gently fall to Earth. These are tiny fragments of asteroids, remnants of comets, particles that wandered through space and were captured by our planet's gravity. You are constantly being sprinkled with stardust, physical reminders that we are not separate from the cosmos, but are part of it. Deep beneath you, in the Earth's mantle, magma moves in slow, majestic currents. But slow here takes on a new meaning. Some of these convective currents take millions of years to complete a single cycle. It's such a gradual movement that it makes continental drift seem hurried. And yet, it is this viscous, patient movement that fuels volcanoes, causes earthquakes, and continually reshapes the planet's surface. The Earth has trembled violently many times throughout history. But in May 1960, in Chile, the most powerful earthquake ever recorded by modern instruments occurred, with a magnitude of 9. It was so intense that it made the entire planet vibrate like a bell for weeks after the main event. Tsunamis swept across the Pacific Ocean, causing destruction as far away as Japan and Hawaii. The Earth's crust moved meters at once, reminding us that we live on a thin, solid shell floating on molten rock. There's a fascinating question about which is truly the tallest mountain on Earth. If you measure from base to summit, Mauna Kea in Hawaii wins, as most of it is submerged in the ocean. But if you measure from the Earth's center, considering the planet's equatorial bulge, the winner is Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador. Because it's closer to the equator, where the Earth is slightly wider, Its peak is farther from the Earth's core than Mount Everest's. It all depends on how you define tallest. Returning to those tiny algae we mentioned earlier, phytoplankton. These microscopic organisms, individually invisible, collectively produce more oxygen than all the rainforests, all the grasslands, all the trees combined. Floating by the trillions in the oceans, they perform photosynthesis on such a vast scale that they sustain most of the aerobic life on the planet. Every breath you take owes a debt to these minuscule creatures. The sun constantly bathes our planet in energy. In just 1 hour, Earth receives more solar energy than all of humanity consumes in an entire year. Think about it. Every solar panel, every hydroelectric dam, every nuclear power plant, all the oil burned, all the coal consumed in a year. The sun provides that amount of energy in just 60 minutes. If we could capture just a fraction of that abundance, we would have unlimited energy. The biosphere of this planet is incredibly rich. It is estimated that 7 million different species have already evolved on Earth. But here's the humbling part. We've discovered and named only about 14% of them. 86% of all the species that share this planet with us are still unknown to science. There are entire worlds of biodiversity waiting to be discovered, many of them at the bottom of the oceans or in the canopies of tropical forests. Earth's magnetic field, that invisible shield protecting us from the deadly solar wind, is not permanently oriented. Hundreds of times throughout geological history, it has reversed. The magnetic North Pole has become south, and vice versa. The last reversal occurred about 780,000 years ago. We don't know when the next one will happen, but when it does, compasses will point south, and during the transition period, which can last thousands of years, the magnetic field will weaken, exposing us to more cosmic radiation. At this very moment, as you listen to these words, approximately 2,000 storms are occurring simultaneously in different parts of the planet. Lightning illuminates the sky, torrential rain falls, thunder echoes. The atmosphere is alive with constant activity. In California stands a tree called General Sherman, a giant sequoia that is the largest single tree in the world by mass. It weighs over 1,300 tons, more than 10 blue whales, the largest animals that ever existed. And it is alive, growing, breathing, an organism that was already here when the pharaohs were building pyramids in Egypt. But most life on Earth isn't where we can see it. There's more biomass living deep underground, resistant bacteria, extremophilic archaea, organisms that live in rock fissures, kilometers below the surface, than all the life combined that walks, swims, or flies on the surface and in the oceans. It's a hidden biosphere, an underground world of life that we're only beginning to understand. And at the very center of the Earth, the solid inner iron core rotates at a slightly different speed than the rest of the planet. It's like a planet within a planet, a metallic heart beating to its own rhythm. At the summit of Mount Everest, every breath is a struggle. The air there contains only about a third of the oxygen available at sea level. Climbers need to acclimatize for weeks, and many use supplemental oxygen just to survive at those brutal altitudes. It's like trying to breathe through a straw while running a marathon. Brazil, this tropical country, is home to something extraordinary. About 12% of all the fresh water on the planet. The Amazon basin, the underground aquifers, the countless rivers that meander through the land. Together, they form one of the largest reserves of potable water in the world. Earth also experiences temperature extremes that challenge life. In Death Valley, California, temperatures have reached 56, 7 degrees Celsius, hot enough to cook an egg on the ground. And at the other extreme, at the Vostok Research Station in Antarctica, thermometers have recorded 89, 2 degrees Celsius. In these extremes, very little life can survive. And here's a final thought to ponder while you relax. If all the water on Earth, every drop in the oceans, every snowflake on the mountains, every cloud in the sky, were distributed evenly across the planet's surface, it would form a global ocean too. 7 kilometers deep. We would be a completely aquatic planet, with no landmass whatsoever. It's a good thing that the water accumulated in the low-lying areas, leaving room for the continents where terrestrial life, including us, could flourish. Take a deep breath. Feel the reassuring weight of gravity. You are lying on the surface of the densest planet in the solar system, a living world that continues to change, grow, breathe. Beneath your feet, in the incomprehensible depths of the Earth, lies a fortune beyond imagination. Our planet's core contains enough gold to cover the entire Earth's surface with a layer half a meter thick. Imagine that, a golden mantle enveloping continents and oceans. But this treasure is forever out of reach, trapped in the planet's molten heart, where the pressure is millions of times greater than atmospheric pressure, and the temperature rivals that of the sun. It is a wealth that will never be mined, a reminder that not everything of value is accessible. The Earth's crust upon which we build our cities, grow our food, and live our lives is surprisingly thin. In proportion to the Earth's size, it is more delicate than an eggshell. We live on a fragile film of solid rock floating on an ocean of magma. It is simultaneously comforting and unsettling to think how tenuous our foundation is. The imaginary line of the equator is not just a geographical convention. It's where the planet receives the most direct sunlight. That's why equatorial regions are the hottest, where the constant heat fuels lush rainforests and vibrant ecosystems teeming with life. Our moon is peculiar when compared to the moons of other planets. It is exceptionally large relative to Earth. If other planets had proportionally similarly large moons, they would appear to have companions of nearly the same size. The most widely accepted theory is that the moon was born from a catastrophic collision in the early solar system, when a Mars-sized object struck the young Earth, tearing away material that eventually coalesced to form our lunar companion. The oceans hold their own treasures. Dissolved in the world's salt water are about 20 million tons of gold. But before you start planning to become an ocean miner, know that this gold is diluted in such minuscule quantities, a few parts per trillion, that it would be impossible to extract it economically. It's there, floating among the water molecules, but it will forever remain a theoretical treasure. The water you drank today, that passed over your lips and went down your throat, is ancient beyond comprehension. It is the same water that flowed through rivers when dinosaurs roamed the earth, the same water that formed the primordial seas where life began. Water is neither created nor destroyed. It simply circulates eternally through the planet in an endless cycle. It evaporates from the oceans, forms clouds, falls as rain, flows through rivers back to the sea, and the cycle begins again. You are drinking liquid history. The continents we live on are not fixed and immobile as they seem. They float on the Earth's mantle like giant icebergs float on the ocean. This is a process called isostasy. The continental crust, being less dense than the mantle below, literally floats on it. And like icebergs, they move, drift, collide, and break apart over millions of years. Walk through some deserts today, the Sahara, for example, and you're treading on ground that was once the bottom of an ancient ocean. Marine fossils found in deserts are silent witnesses to when these lands were submerged. The Earth constantly recycles its landscapes, transforming oceans into deserts and vice versa over geological eras. Here's a dizzying perspective. Although there are more stars in the observable universe than grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth, our planet still harbors more trees, 3 trillion of them, than stars visible to the naked eye in the night sky. It's easy to feel small when looking at the cosmos, but we should also marvel at the abundance of life right here. The light that warms your face when you stand in the sun isn't instantaneous. It originated in the sun's core, where hydrogen atoms fused to create helium, releasing energy. This energy then took 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel through the vacuum of space to reach Earth. You are always seeing the sun as it was 8 minutes ago. The atmosphere you breathe now is radically different from Earth's primordial atmosphere. Billions of years ago, our planet had a dense atmosphere of carbon dioxide, similar to that of Venus today. But then something extraordinary happened. Primitive photosynthetic organisms, cyanobacteria, began producing oxygen as a byproduct of their metabolism. For millions of years, this biological pollutant accumulated, completely transforming the chemistry of the atmosphere and setting the stage for complex oxygen-breathing life forms like you. On polar nights, when the dark sky suddenly explodes into curtains of green, pink, and purple light dancing across the horizon, you are witnessing a phenomenon that has been occurring for millions of years. Auroras happen when charged particles from the sun, the solar wind, collide with Earth's magnetic field and are channeled toward the poles, where they excite atoms in the upper atmosphere, causing them to glow. It's a cosmic painting that has adorned the polar skies ever since Earth acquired its magnetic field. On the forest floor, under every fallen log, in every grain of soil, there are ants. The Earth is home to more ant species than all species of birds, mammals, and reptiles combined. These tiny social engineers, often overlooked, numerically dominate terrestrial ecosystems. A single storm, a hurricane, a typhoon, can release energy equivalent to the explosion of multiple nuclear bombs. It's a humbling demonstration of the raw power of the atmosphere in motion. And every day, thousands of these smaller displays of atmospheric power occur around the planet. Earth's atmosphere is not permanent. Every day, small amounts of it are lost to space. Light molecules in the upper layers of the atmosphere occasionally gain enough speed to escape Earth's gravity and be lost in the void. It's a slow but constant process. Eventually, in billions of years, Earth will lose its atmosphere completely, although the sun will likely have already expanded and engulfed the planet before that happens. The seasons that mark the rhythm of the year, spring, summer, autumn, winter, exist because of a cosmic accident. The Earth does not rotate perfectly vertically. It is tilted at 23.5 degrees. This tilt means that as we orbit the sun, different parts of the planet receive more or less direct sunlight at different times of the year. That is why we have seasons, why summer in the northern hemisphere coincides with winter in the southern hemisphere. The Amazon rainforest, which stretches across 9 South American countries, is so vast and humid that it literally creates its own climate. The transpiration of billions of trees releases so much water vapor into the atmosphere that it forms clouds and causes rain. The forest feeds itself, a self-regulating system of life and water. When we think of volcanoes, we imagine smoking mountains on land. But the truth is that more than 90% of Earth's volcanoes are hidden beneath the oceans, aligned along mid-ocean ridges where new crust is constantly being formed. The ocean floor is geologically much more active than the surface we inhabit. And the mountains? Most of Earth's mountain ranges are submerged. Beneath the waves, underwater mountain ranges stretch for tens of thousands of kilometers, larger than any terrestrial mountain range. They are the invisible Himalayas of the ocean floor. Wind can be deadly. In Australia, during a tropical cyclone in 1996, the fastest wind ever recorded on Earth reached 408 kilometers per hour. At that speed, the air becomes an absolute force of destruction, capable of uprooting trees, demolishing buildings, and hurling objects like projectiles. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. You are floating on a thin shell above a planet of molten metal and rock, under a sky that slowly fades into space, drinking water that existed millions of years ago, breathing air created by ancient organisms. Keep breathing. The journey continues smoothly. Every day, as you go about your life, tiny space rocks, meteors, enter Earth's atmosphere. Most are so small that they disintegrate completely from friction with the air, creating those shooting stars we sometimes glimpse in the night sky. They are fragments of the cosmos, briefly visiting our world before turning to dust. But there is something invisible that protects us from far greater dangers. Earth's magnetic field, generated by currents of molten iron in its outer core, forms a protective shield around the entire planet. This shield deflects deadly charged particles from the sun, the solar wind, which would otherwise strip away our atmosphere and render the surface uninhabitable. Mars lost its magnetic field billions of years ago, and with it, its thick atmosphere and oceans. We were lucky. In Iceland, the land literally splits apart beneath people's feet. This volcanic island sits at the point where 2 tectonic plates, the Eurasian and the North American, move away from each other. Each year, the island grows about 5 centimeters. You can walk between 2 continents in places like Thingvellir National Park, where the rift between the plates is visible, a tangible reminder that the Earth is always in motion. We've already mentioned Mount Everest as the tallest mountain, but here's a fascinating detail. The point on Earth's surface farthest from the planet's center isn't Everest. It's Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador. Why? Because the Earth isn't a perfect sphere. It's slightly flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator due to its rotation. So, equatorial mountains sit on a natural, elevated plateau. The Sahara Desert, that vast expanse of sand and rock that we associate with eternal aridity, is not permanent. It increases and decreases in size over the centuries, responding to natural climatic cycles. Thousands of years ago, the Sahara was green, covered in vegetation with rivers and lakes. Ancient rock art shows crocodiles and hippos, where today there are only dunes. And one day, perhaps in a few thousand years, it may be green again. The Earth is constantly trembling. On average, about 50 earthquakes occur every day on the planet. The vast majority are so subtle that only sensitive instruments can detect them. But they are always there, a constant seismic pulse as tectonic plates creak and adjust against each other. We've already talked about ocean oxygen, but it's worth repeating with emphasis. Half of every breath you take comes from the sea. Not from forests, not from trees, but from microscopic phytoplankton floating in sunlit surface waters. The oceans are the lungs of the planet, and we are only beginning to understand how critical they are to our survival. There have been times in Earth's long history when the entire planet was frozen. At least twice in events called Snowball Earth, ice covered even the equatorial oceans. Imagine a white, silent planet frozen from pole to pole. Life was nearly extinguished during these periods, but survived, hidden in pockets of geothermal heat, waiting for the thaw that eventually came. Gravity is not uniform across the Earth. There are places where you weigh slightly more and places where you weigh slightly less, depending on the distribution of mass beneath the ground. Large concentrations of dense rock can locally increase gravitational attraction, while underground voids can decrease it. You float through an uneven gravitational field. In the Earth's inner core, under unimaginable pressures, millions of times atmospheric pressure, iron is so compressed that it remains solid even at temperatures that, under normal conditions, would melt it instantly. It is denser iron than anything we can artificially create, a solid ball of metal in the molten heart of the planet. Every minute, while you relax, about 240 lightning bolts strike the ground in different parts of the world. Electrical storms continuously illuminate some corner of the planet, transferring enormous amounts of energy between clouds and Earth in instantaneous discharges that can reach 30,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the sun. Here's something paradoxical. The planet is getting greener. Satellite images from recent decades show an increase in global vegetation cover. Part of this is due to increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which acts as fertilizer for plants. Of course, this doesn't offset the problems of climate change, but it's a reminder that Earth systems are complex and sometimes surprising. Some lakes can be deadly dangerous in unexpected ways. In Cameroon, in 1986, Lake Nyos exploded, not with fire or lava, but with a massive cloud of carbon dioxide that had accumulated at its bottom. The gas, heavier than air, flowed down the surrounding valleys, silently suffocating some 1,700 people and thousands of animals. It is a chilling reminder that the Earth holds unseen dangers. The Dead Sea, that incredibly salty body of water where it's impossible to sink, is disappearing. Its level is dropping about a meter a year due to the diversion of water from the rivers that feed it. In a few decades, it could be a fraction of what it once was, or perhaps disappear completely. Viewed from space at night, Earth glows with artificial lights. And the brightest point of all? Las Vegas, Nevada. This city, in the middle of the desert, burns so much energy and lighting that it surpasses all others when astronauts look down. The ocean floor is constantly creating new islands. Submarine volcanic eruptions can cause land to emerge literally from nowhere. These newly formed islands are initially just bare, smoking rock, but some are temporary, crumbling back into the sea weeks or months later. Others remain and are eventually colonized by life. The Pacific Ocean is so absurdly large that all the continents on Earth could fit inside it, and there would still be room to spare. It's a hemisphere of water, covering almost a third of the entire planetary surface. When you look at the globe from the right angle, you can see one side of the Earth that is almost entirely ocean. In July of 1958, in Lituya Bay, Alaska, a massive landslide plunged into the sea, generating the largest wave ever recorded in modern history, 524 meters high. This wave was so high that it would have swallowed buildings 150 stories high. It swept across the mountain slopes surrounding the bay, uprooting all the trees as if they were toothpicks. Fortunately, it was a remote area, but the event demonstrates the devastating power that nature can unleash. When you look at a cloud floating gently in the sky, it seems light and ethereal. But those clouds weigh hundreds, sometimes thousands of tons. They float because they are distributed over such a vast volume of air that their overall density is less than the surrounding air. But if we could compress all the water into a single storm cloud, we would have an Olympic-sized swimming pool suspended in the sky. And finally, think about the air you are breathing right now. These molecules of nitrogen, oxygen, and other gases were once breathed by dinosaurs. They circulated through Carboniferous forests 300 million years ago. They were part of ice ages and periods of natural global warming. Air is constantly recycled, the same molecules circulating through countless generations of life. You are breathing history, literally sharing the air with every creature that has ever lived. Let these thoughts settle gently. You are part of cycles so ancient they predate memory, so vast they encompass the entire planet. Relax deeply. We are nearing the end of our journey on Earth. Now, consider hurricanes, those gigantic spirals of power and energy. What few know is that inside them, where the winds swirl with ancient fury, the temperature is hotter than the surrounding air. It's as if the very heart of the storm burns with passion, releasing accumulated energy like deep sighs from the atmosphere. There's something almost poetic about this violence that carries so much heat. Meanwhile, far from the storms, the oceans themselves tell a story of silent transformation. The Atlantic, that vast blue mirror between continents, is growing. Millimeter by millimeter, year after year, it expands like a lung filling with air. And on the other side of the world, the Pacific, the largest of all seas, is shrinking. It's a slow dance of giants, a movement so gradual that only time can perceive it. Beneath the solid surface beneath our feet, invisible rivers flow. Gigantic subterranean rivers run through perpetual darkness, traversing thousands of kilometers along paths that have never seen sunlight. They are the planet's secret arteries, carrying water through tunnels of stone like blood flowing through hidden veins. Imagine being down there, in absolute silence, hearing only the distant whisper of water finding its way. Speaking of silence, there's a place on Earth where sound simply ceases to exist. An anechoic chamber so perfectly isolated that it absorbs every vibration, every echo, every whisper. People who enter there report a disturbing sensation. At first it's fascinating, but it soon becomes unsettling. You begin to hear your own heart beating, the blood rushing through your veins, even the hum of your nervous system. The total silence reveals that we are never truly silent. We are biological orchestras constantly playing. The mountains around the world seem eternal, but they are alive. Most continue to grow slowly, pushed upwards by the constant movement of tectonic plates. Mountains are like stone trees, taking millions of years to add a few meters to their height. It is the most patient growth there is. To put everything into perspective, the entire Earth's atmosphere, that thin blanket of air that keeps us alive, could fit inside the sun 1,000,000 times. We are tiny, protected by a layer almost imperceptible in cosmic terms. And yet, within this thin film of gases, all the life we know flourishes. Diving back into the oceans, we find a spectacle of natural lights. More than 80% of deep-sea creatures glow in the dark. Bioluminescence illuminates the depths like submerged constellations. Down there, where the sun never reaches, life has created its own light. Jellyfish flash with electric blue, lanternfish carry biological beacons, and even bacteria dance in luminous clouds. The ocean at night is a parallel universe of living stars. Earth's history also holds lost continents. Zealandia, for example, a continent almost completely submerged, hidden beneath the waves of the South Pacific. It lies there, silent and forgotten, a sleeping giant that once walked alongside the other continents. Thinking about lost lands reminds us that the world was once very different and will continue to change long after we are gone. In a forest in the state of Oregon lives the largest organism on the planet. It's not a whale or a giant sequoia. It's a fungus. It spreads across almost 10 square kilometers, mostly invisible, living like an underground network of interconnected wires. This fungus is thousands of years old, a unique creature that has witnessed centuries of change above it while patiently remaining underground. Forests themselves possess powers that we have only recently begun to understand. Trees release chemicals into the air that can form clouds and influence the climate. Forests don't just respond to the climate, they help create it. It's as if they collectively breathe, exhaling compounds that turn into vapor, which condenses into droplets, which become clouds. Trees paint the sky. Around the Pacific Ocean stretches the so-called Ring of Fire, a region that concentrates 75% of all active volcanoes on Earth. It is a necklace of fire around the largest ocean, where the Earth's crust is thinnest, most restless, where the molten interior of the planet finds ways to touch the sky. To live near these volcanoes is to live on the border between two worlds. Right now, as you rest, your body is being traversed by countless neutrinos. These tiny particles travel through the universe at speeds close to the speed of light, passing through planets, stars, and even us, as if we were made of mist. They traverse everything without stopping. Quantum ghosts that don't even perceive our existence. Trillions of them are passing through you right now, coming from the sun, from distant stars, from cosmic events that occurred millions of years ago. When lightning strikes the sand, something magical happens. The intense heat, reaching 30,000 degrees Celsius, melts the sand instantly and transforms it into glass. These tubes of natural glass, called fulgurites, preserve the exact path of the lightning, like sculptures left by electricity. They are luminous scars of the storm, transformed into art. Despite all our technology and knowledge, we still don't know the exact amount of water that exists on the planet. There is obvious water in the oceans, rivers, and lakes, but there is also water deeply hidden in the Earth's crust, trapped in rocks kilometers deep. There are entire oceans beneath us that we have never seen. The Earth keeps its secrets very well. Plants also have senses that we are only beginning to understand. Some can perceive dangerous vibrations, such as the sound of insects chewing on their leaves. When they detect these vibrations, they activate chemical defenses, making their leaves less palatable or even toxic. Plants hear danger approaching and prepare themselves. They don't have ears, but somehow they listen. In the ocean, sound behaves differently. It travels almost 4 times faster in water than in air. Whales communicate across thousands of kilometers, their songs traversing entire oceans. The sea is a concert hall where voices echo farther and more clearly than we could imagine. It is a world where sound reigns supreme. The oxygen you are breathing right now has an ancient history. Each molecule has passed through millions of other organisms over billions of years. It was exhaled by dinosaurs, inhaled by ancient trees, flowed through the gills of primitive fish, and fueled the lungs of your distant ancestors. You are breathing history, recycling the very air that has kept all life functioning since the beginning. There is a rock that defies gravity. Pumice, formed during volcanic eruptions, is so full of air bubbles that it can float on water. It is a rock that doesn't sink, solid matter that dances on the waves. Sometimes, after large eruptions, huge chunks of pumice form temporary floating islands, traveling with the currents until they slowly break apart. Deep in the Earth's center, the iron core is cooling. It's an incredibly slow but inevitable process. In billions of years, it will solidify completely. When that happens, the magnetic field that protects us from solar radiation will begin to weaken. But that's so far in the future that it's almost like contemplating the concept of eternity. For now, the planet's heart still pulses warm. And to conclude this journey with a truth that connects everything, consider this. Every atom in your body, every drop of water you drink, every breath of oxygen, every mountain that rises in the distance, all of this came from stardust. Billions of years ago, ancient stars exploded in supernovas, scattering their elements throughout space. This cosmic dust came together, condensed, formed our solar system, our planet, and eventually, us. Earth is literally made of ancient stars. You are made of ancient stars. When we look at the night sky, we are not just admiring distant lights. We are looking at our cosmic ancestors, the furnaces where the elements that compose us were forged. So, take a deep breath. Feel the connection to all of this. You are part of something infinitely larger, a story that began with the birth of the universe and continues in this moment, while you rest peacefully. The planet beneath you is alive, constantly transforming, holding mysteries that have taken us millennia to begin to understand. Sleep well, knowing that you are part of this cosmic tapestry. May your dreams be as vast as the oceans, as deep as the roots of the mountains, and as luminous as the bioluminescence that dances in the dark depths of the sea. Good night.